Now, your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Floodwaters surround a car in Wilmington, Delaware. It's the handiwork of Hurricane Floyd. Mid-Atlantic states are getting swamped after ripping through the southeast with high wind. Hurricane Floyd is on a fast track into the northeast today, and the New England area getting heavy rain. Hello and welcome to this special edition of Weather Center sponsored by IMES. I'm Lisa Moser. You are getting heavy rain over a very wide area across the north. This does include Philadelphia, New York, and Boston. We have live reports and an expert analysis on Floyd's movement for today. For the very latest, let's turn to Bruce Edwards. He's in the forecast center. Bruce?
Thank you very much, Lisa, and good afternoon, everyone. Once again, Hurricane Floyd continues to churn rapidly up the mid-Atlantic coast right now, moving over the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay and heading on to the northeast very quickly, but still torrential downpours, flooding rains all up and down the seaboard being felt well into New England and upstate New York even as we speak. Now, here is the impact of New York City is experiencing. I mean, we're talking about workers being sent home early because of as the hurricane approaches, and a significant amount of workers will be sent home by 3 p.m. City schools are closed, and many of the metro area schools are sending students home early. Suffolk County, a state of emergency issued there, and an eastern half of Long Island has declared a state of emergency. So once again, very precautionary measures being taken there for certain because of the expected impact of Hurricane Floyd. Now, here's the information concerning Mayor Giuliani has asked the folks of New York to take their steps now to prevent damage to their homes.
People would exercise some responsibility here. Think about the things that they have that might be blown away, that could create hazards. Secure them, bring them inside.
The biggest impact could be on Long Island east of the city, but the city will still see very heavy wind and rain as they are seeing that right now. Now, New Jersey also remains under a state of emergency with full force of winds expected later on this afternoon. Now, no mandatory evacuations have been ordered, but people are being urged to leave low-lying areas prone to flooding. Shelters are open in Monmouth County along the shore south of New York City. Governor Whitman ordered all public schools in the state closed for the day. So once again, the schools there are closed, but under no evacuation order at the present time. Here's the latest information on Hurricane Floyd from the National Hurricane Center as of the 11 a.m. update. Floyd was centered at 36.8 degrees north, 76 degrees west, right near Virginia Beach, Virginia. Top sustained winds 80 miles per hour, still hurricane force. And it is moving rapidly to the north northeast at 24 miles per hour. Central pressure continues to rise at 967 millibars. Now, here's a look at the hurricane warnings that are in effect, still in effect from Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, north to Manasquan Inlet, New Jersey. And from Moriches Inlet, New York to Plymouth, Massachusetts, hurricane warnings, while in the inland bays and waterways, tropical storm warnings are in effect for northern Chesapeake Bay, Delaware Bay, Manasquan Inlet, as well as Moriches Inlet and Long Island Sound under a tropical storm warning. And tropical storm warnings extend from Plymouth, Massachusetts, north to the mouth of the Merrimack River. Here's a satellite picture, and again, it can show that, especially with the enhancement showing where the center of Hurricane Floyd is located, rapidly moving over the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay once again, and the enhancement shows the cloudiness throughout the region here. We look at the radar, and once again, with the center of Floyd at approximately right around the mouth of the Chesapeake. You can still see the surge of moisture and the very heavy rains moving on shore at present. Here's the radar out of Richmond, Virginia. Now you're getting onto the backside of Floyd's moisture pattern. You can see it shrinking from the southwest, but still very intense. Salisbury, Maryland, Chincoteague, Virginia, very intense storms here with torrential downpours still occurring here. And as we work farther north to the New York City metro area, you can see the moderate to heavy downpours through New Jersey and New York right in this swath and through here. Flash flood warnings in effect for Westchester, New York, Bronx, Richmond, Kings, Queens, and Nassau counties of New York, and across northern New Jersey, or in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, for Berks County, Lehigh County, and Northampton County in Pennsylvania, and Sussex and Warren counties in New Jersey due to the intense rainfall that is occurring here at the present time. Now, one area that is dealing with that excessive rainfall is Wilmington, Delaware. Candace Gibson of station KTXF filed this report earlier this morning.
I'm Candace Gibson in Wilmington, Delaware, where you can see the rain continues to fall, and there really hasn't been any let-up since late last night. There are some parts of the state that received up to 7 inches of rain, some parts that also reported up to an inch of rain in a 15-minute period. Now, what that is doing is turning many roadways into riverways. Take a look at this one that is here behind me. It is turning into a riverway, and as a result, it is causing for some interesting pictures. Earlier this morning, we caught a Delaware area rapid transit bus that was stuck in the water. The driver just didn't realize how high the water was, and the bus had to be removed. It took them about a half hour to get the vehicle out of here. The driver was the only person on board, no passengers on board. She was okay, just a little bit upset and probably a little embarrassed. But those are the sort of scenes and the sort of conditions that the remnants of this hurricane causing all over this state. Reporting in Wilmington, Delaware, Candace Gibson for the Weather Channel.
Well, the Weather Channel's hurricane expert, Dr. Steve Lyons, is keeping a close watch on Floyd's movement to the north-northeast. Dr. Lyons, what's your assessment of what Floyd's doing now? What can folks expect in the ensuing 12 to 24 hours?
Well, the motion is fairly steady right along the coast or just off the coast, and we can see that on the infrared satellite imagery here. The circulation is shrinking rather dramatically. The winds are down to Category 1 intensity, so right now the biggest threat is flooding inland. And keep in mind that even though the hurricane has passed and there doesn't look like you're in much rain down here, stream flooding and river flooding can be a very dangerous thing. It takes a while for all that standing water to run off into the streams and rivers. And so we're expecting the potential for some major river and stream flooding back into North Carolina and Virginia. So be very careful. If you live near a river or stream, you may want to pay attention and watch for rising water and evacuate if you haven't already done so if it's rising quickly. Now let's look at the next situation we've got here. This is the latest storm total precipitation radar from Doppler radar, and you can see many areas where we're exceeding 15 inches of rainfall up in the North Carolina area, and this swath is continuing up into Virginia and on up into New York as well. Now the good news is as it moves into New York, the rainfall should diminish somewhat as compared to what we had earlier. Keep in mind also, look at the winds. These are gusts now over North Carolina. These are wind gusts, not sustained winds. Gusts are always higher. And so the wind has come down quite a bit, and most of the strong winds are well offshore or on the shoreline. And what that means is that damage from wind does not appear to be a major problem anymore, other than potentially drawing some power lines down, a few trees down in some wet areas in particular. But our biggest threat right now is rainfall and stream and river flooding. So be very careful with the stream and river flooding after the fact. as the system goes through. But we expect it to continue on to the northeast, be off the coast of New Jersey here later tonight, moving very quickly, and then passing past Cape Cod around midnight or early into Friday morning, and then heading off to the Canadian Maritimes late into Friday, but weakening as it goes into more of a mid-latitude type circulation. So the real wind threat is gone right now for the most part, but we still have some coastal flooding. High waves along the beach, especially Long Island southward, on the order of 10 to 15 feet possible. So you're going to get some beach erosion. Be very careful there as well. And some minor pileup of surge associated with the wind, but it's really lessening with time dramatically relative to the rainfall threat. The rainfall is a big threat. Back to you, Bruce.
All righty, thank you, Dr. Steve Lyons at our expert desk with the latest on Floyd. And speaking of the rainfall and the heaviest, PGA Tour golf fans, the BC Open up in Endicott, New York, near Binghamton. Well, the first round has been washed out because of the heavy rains, even into the upstate of New York at the present time. So again, it's impacting everyone's lives all up and down the eastern seaboard. A reminder that information you need to know on Floyd or anything concerning your backyard weather is at your fingertips on the internet at weather.com. So once again, you can get that information that you need to know when you need to know it. Reminder, we'll have another update in about 30 minutes, but let's go back to the studio now. Lisa Mosier has the latest.
It's a bit breezy, windy across many areas along the eastern half of the country, even areas that are not getting the rain from Floyd. In the last hour, we looked at a wind gust of 35 miles per hour out of the Atlanta area. Generally speaking, the winds are about 10 to 15 and at times 15 to 20 miles per hour, although we have mostly sunny skies across many areas in the southeast for today. We are looking at an upper level disturbance it's going to be affecting the Four Corner region as well as the Oklahoma Panhandle. And right now you see that we do have some showers in around Amarillo, Lubbock, Texas, Midland, Texas, and getting into a few sprinkles around Kansas. But temperatures are a little bit milder. It's going to take a little time as we head into the afternoon hours when things warm up a bit. We are likely to see some thunderstorms in the mix. Right now in Amarillo, it's 55 degrees, so a bit cool here. We had some record low temperatures this morning. St. Joseph, Missouri, 38. Austin, Texas, 54. Current temperatures across the northeast, of course, being hampered by Floyd. The ongoing of Floyd will continue to keep our temperatures probably in the 60s in the northeast. To the south, we're warming up, lots of 80s, and they will continue to spread. Chicago, a nice day. 60 degrees is the current temperature in Chicago, the Windy City. Not too badly windy. We do have some travel woes to tell you about. We'll be back with Travel Wise right here on the Weather Channel.
This program was sponsored by Iams, dog and cat food. Good for life.
Is Iams cat food good for life? Well, research suggests cats can lower your blood pressure and help their owners live longer, healthier lives. In return, help your cat live a long, healthy life with Iams. The wholesome ingredients in Iams are more digestible, so more nutrition stays in your cat. And cats love the taste of Iams. So feed them Iams day after day and enjoy their company year after year. Iams Cat Foods, good for life, from the Iams Company.
The Outback has finally come to town. Introducing the Subaru Outback Sedan. A completely new kind of car that combines the rugged traction and control of full-time all-wheel drive with a decidedly uptown look.
My kind of town.
Outback Sedan, yet another first from Subaru.
Test drive the beauty of all-wheel drive at a Subaru dealer near you.
Now, your local forecast on the Weather Channel.